So we can start now. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome, ma'am, to here on this small virtual platform on my team, OYG. And here, my name is Janvi Mishra, and today we are going to talk about a very interesting topic about hypnotherapy, which is a very rare topic we generally discuss. And today we have Samala Austin, who is from Australia. And one thing is very interesting about her that she is the first lady from Australia who learned about the hypnotherapy from RTT and who is very renowned person in this field. Her name is Marisa Peer. So this is very interesting about her, and it is a very courageous step to take to learn from these people. One thing more about her is she's very evening first and Australia to personally study with Marisa Peer. Other than that, her heartful mission is to improve the human condition and also empowers people to understand the thoughts they hold, upgrades their mental programming, and equips them to change anything that impedes their ability to succeed. And one thing which I would like to consider to everyone, those who are watching, please take one single session with her because this is going to very helpful for you people because this is one thing which you can give a short time to her with her and you can take a very tremendous change within yourself. So this is a very interesting thing. So I would like to convince everyone, and also you just have this conversation with us, and just then also you can go through why you should go with her. Okay. So I welcome you, ma'am, here on this small virtual platform, and over to you, ma'am.
Hi, thank you. I'm so honored to be here. It's such a privilege, to be asked in your community to talk. So yeah, I was one of the first in the first class of Marisa Peer to study with her personally in Australia in her extended live training, which she doesn't do anymore. I think it was the first and last in Australia that she did. So very, very fortunate to spend a lot of time with Marisa and then also help her training the following year. And Marisa Peer was voted Britain's #1 therapist. So she's just an amazing human. And I totally encourage everyone to look her up and follow her and listen to her because she's my mentor. She's inspired me. She's taken me to where I am right now and to keep going. And I've learned so much with her. And it's just been life-changing.
Yeah, sure. And so this is virtual talk. So I think we should start with question and answer round, I think. Yeah. Can we start?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, okay. So I welcome everyone. Just sit back and enjoy this session with us. So my first question to you, ma'am, is uh, what was your motivation? Like why you should choose these path? Like this is very a rare path you have chosen in your life because very few people used to take hypnotherapy as their profession. So what motivated you?
Well, I've been interested in personal development since I was a teenager. I was born into a very spiritual, conscious community. It was an Indian-based religion called Anandamaga. So I was raised with lots of meditation and chanting. And as young teenagers, we were doing sort of personal growth workshops. And then as a young adult in my 20s, I was doing lots of personal development courses to find happiness and contentment and just looking at other people and thinking they've got it and they have it and they have the life and the house and the husband, the car, and they're happy. And like, why don't I have that? Why aren't I happy? And I had a child when I was 19. And so that was a bit of a struggle to someone who was mentally unstable and it was emotionally hard for me. And it was a hard path to be on. And I wanted to completely turn that around. I wanted to be the best mother for my children. I wanted to provide them with the best life, and I wanted to be an inspiration to them. And I felt very lost for all of my 20s, and pretty much most of my 30s, I felt very lost. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't feel good enough. I felt like I was stupid. I felt like I had nothing to offer, and I felt like I had no talents. Like it's not like I could even play the guitar, or I even had like some skill. I felt like I had nothing apart from being a mother, cleaning. I was good at keeping a clean house, and looking after children was pretty much all I had going on for me. But I knew in my heart that I had something more, and there was something that I was good at, and I just didn't know what it was. And I would look at university courses and go, I don't really, that's not it, and that's not it, and I don't know about, there's nothing really that it's calling to me. And I had seen psychologists and a psychiatrist even, and I have done kinesiology, and I've done like lots of personal development workshops. Like I said, I would leave those workshops on a high, going, oh my God, I feel amazing. I've forgiven. I figured it out. And then a month later, it would all just come rushing in, and I would just feel like I just still don't know what I'm doing. I'm still here. I'm still don't really feel good enough. I actually didn't really know what my beliefs were. Like, I learned about my childhood things and why I might not feel very good, and that forgiveness is important, but and to love myself. But it was all like these outside of myself concepts. Sort of knowing something on the outside is one thing, but to actually feel it and have it land in you and change your brain is another. And I knew about hypnotherapy, but I never knew what I could have it for. I often thought, oh, hypnotherapy, I've never tried that. What would I need it for? I don't smoke, I don't drink, I'm not addicted to anything. I'm not sure what I'd need it for, but it would be interesting. And then one day, when I was in my despair, feeling miserable about life, I think I'd gone through another breakup with a boyfriend, and not knowing what I was doing, seeking, tarot card readers and mediums to tell me like that everything was going to be okay. I was on YouTube and I was watching something, and I was scrolling down, and I saw The Biggest Disease Affecting Humanity, and it was a video by Marisa Peer, and I kept scrolling. I wasn't even going to watch it because there's so much to watch, you get sick of it. And then I went, no, what is that? Like, what is that biggest disease affecting humanity? So I went back and I watched it, and it was a 20-minute talk by Marisa Peer, this sassy kind of English lady. And I instantly fell in love with her, and I thought, oh my God, I want to be her. She was a hypnotherapist, and her talk was all about, the biggest disease is that we don't feel good enough. You fix that, you fix so many things, and it's not hard, it's easy. She simplified it. So I felt like, oh my God, it's so hard to be happy, to get there, to feel content. And she just turned that belief around for me in a moment, that it's actually not hard, it's easy. So then I started to be following her, following all her social media things, and listening to one of her free hypnotherapies that she had at the time, which was I'm Enough. And I started to feel better, like more confident. I was manifesting some cool things in my life that I always wanted, a trip to Europe even, and meeting really cool people. And then I got an email that she was coming to Australia and you could study with her. And then I was like, oh, that would be amazing. But I didn't really understand like what it would be about, or what I'd get from that if it was just a workshop, and it was very expensive. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to do that. Like, why would I pay that much money? That's a lot of money. That's more money than I've ever paid for anything in my life. And then a job that I was doing, and also I didn't have the time because I was working, but the job that I was doing ended. And then that same day I got a call saying they had a cancellation in the course in Sydney. And I just said yes. I just said yes, and I just jumped into it. And I got accommodation sorted out for me down there, and I went to Sydney, and I just threw myself in. And I hadn't done any of the online course before that, and it was an intense few days because it was like a whole new learning, and I was crying and I was challenged, and I just threw myself in, and I've just continued to throw myself into everything that's uncomfortable, and my business has grown and I've grown in the process, and it's been the best thing I've ever done.
That was a very nice. I think at the same time you felt two things, like you were excited to join that course, and also you were very frustrated because of what happened before, right? So this was the life, what you can say, turning point of your life where you have chosen this course, right?
Yeah, it's like I'd had enough. And also, I forgot to add that I did seek out another therapist who did this therapy, and I had a session with her over Zoom, and I listened to my recording, because at the end of a session with RTT, you get a special intuitive recording made especially for you. And I listened to that every day, and I couldn't stay awake. I always would fall asleep. And at the end of the month, it's like I even forgot what the issue was, and I just felt more confident and more myself. And those feelings never came back. Of course, when you unlayer, when you unlayer one issue, then others can pop up. So, I've still been working like an onion. I've still been working through different issues as they've come up. But because I've access to lots of different therapists now in this community, I can easily just kind of sort them out. But I was really impressed how I just felt good, and it was permanent and it didn't come back. So yeah, it was impressive.
Yeah. So from how many years, from how many years you have been in this field in hypnotherapy?
I'm like almost at the end of my 3rd year now doing this.
13 years. Like
3
like
years.
You are 3 years. Okay.
3 years in hypnotherapy, okay, a lifetime of trying to sort it all out.
Yeah. And I think you have chosen this path because from your teenagers, you were in these kind of field like meditation and all these kind of activity. That's why you have you have projected yourself towards hypnotherapy, I think, because of this healing nature of this therapy, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I always had that tendency anyway. And I thought about doing psychology. Even at the time, I was like hypnotherapy or psychology. And someone said to me, actually, it was a psychologist, if you go and become a psychologist, your hands are tied. There's a lot that you can't do. There's a lot of restrictions and rules and regulations. If you become a hypnotherapist, you actually can do a lot more. You have a lot more freedom. So that attracted me also to do hypnotherapy.
Okay, so can you explain what is rapid transformational therapy, which is the base of your therapy, I think?
So it's a hybrid therapy. It's a combination of hypnotherapy, NLP, CBT, and psychotherapy. And it's got some other things in there too, like a bit of Gestalt and is it Gestalt? I don't even know how to say that. And also like part therapy. So because there's so much in there, you don't need as many sessions. So traditional hypnotherapy, you would go maybe for 9 weeks and you would do 1 regression a week. You might get a recording, you might not. I'm not sure. There's all different parts of hypnotherapy. But with this, you really only need 1 to 3. Often it's 1, I find with my clients, maybe 3. So the sessions can go for 2 hours. Sometimes I have them and they go for 3 hours because I really don't like to rush my clients. I like to spend as much time as they need to process and work through it all. So there's a lot of tools we're doing. So, and we're also not doing 1 regression, we're doing 3 or 4, one after the other. And because I've also studied with another hypnotherapist called Brian Weiss, and also Marisa also teaches past life regression, I can also do a bit of that if that's requested. So you do the hypnotherapy, which is just the relaxing part. It feels like going into a meditation. Then we're doing 1, 2, 3 regressions, one after the other. So you get to see a pattern in beliefs that you've made around the issue. So we're going to the first time that you ever had anxiety or you didn't feel good enough. And then we do some part therapy, some reframing, some upgrading, transforming. And then at the end, we record this 15 to 20 minute hypnotherapy audio that is sent to the client, and they have to listen to that every day for like 28, I like to say 30 days. So that what that recording does, and it's very commanding. It's not like self-affirmation. It's very commanding. I'm saying you in there, not I am enough. It's you are enough. It's very detailed. There's a lot in there. I prepare that before and also add a lot in that comes up in the session. It's got your name. It has everything that client needs to hear. So it's completely bespoke and intuitively made. And it's wiring in, because the mind learns by repetition. So it's wiring in the new beliefs, what you want to think, feel, and believe. So we've worked it all out. We've got the understanding in the session. We've released that pain. It's like if you think of a vampire, when the vampire goes into the light, it disintegrates. It's a great saying from one of my other mentors. And it's similar with hypnotherapy. You see all that shadow stuff, and when it comes out into the light, it doesn't have the power anymore. So when you go on the next days after hypnotherapy, and you will be way more aware of that subconscious stuff. You'll hear it and you'll be like, oh, yuck, I don't like that. That doesn't feel good to me anymore. And you'll tell it to go away, you ignore it, or you go, no, actually, that's not true. And then you've also got the recording that wires in the new way of thinking, feeling, and believing, and how you want to be acting and how you want to be in your life. And it's really nice as well. It's really supportive. It's, we don't really have someone following us around every day saying, you're so good, you're so great, you're amazing, don't be silly, like a guardian angel. We all kind of need that. So that's sort of like what the recording does as well. It's this constant validation and reaffirmation of that everything's good and you're amazing and you're doing well and you've got all the power in you. And then you also get a lot of support as well during that month, emails, and you have access to the therapist. Well, every therapist is different, but to me, if you need any support. So it's not like you have the session and then that's it. Like it's sort of a month program. We could do different, like a 3-month program as well. So there's lots of different ways. It's all tailored to the client individually. It's very flexible. Great. I love it.
I think for every kind of patient, like different patients have different, what you can say, they have different symptoms, okay? Like if a same disease is there, they have a different symptoms in different persons. We generally see this. So what depends, generally the timing is different. And I think you must know their history, what causes this. I think the root cause, what generally cause this. So I think you people take history before, right? What the person is going through, and then you just go for the session, and you just have a recording and affirmations in that recording, as the patient can hear this and understand him or his essence, what he is exactly, the people he is from inside, right? So first we should understand people, what they are exactly, rather than we just can't go only for their symptoms. So we should go for their deep root cause. What I mean to say.
Exactly. Yeah. So if they're coming for anxiety, if they're going to traditional doctors, they will talk about their symptoms. I'm sweating and I'm, not sleeping. And then they might say, okay, well, go for a walk, do some meditation, take some medication, for example. If they don't really understand why they have it, right? So if you do hypnotherapy, we're going to go back to the very first moment, and it could be that they're in the womb, or it could be that time where their dad yelled at them and said, you're stupid, and then they grabbed onto that. And that's the moment where they went, oh my God, that doesn't feel good, and I'm stupid, and oh my God, I can't do anything right. And then obviously, it accumulates throughout their life. Then we go to another scene. So they see another time where they might be 15 and everyone in the classroom laughed at them. There's actually a lot of school trauma that I see come up in sessions. Everyone has some school trauma, right? And so everyone laughed at them, and then they were like, and what happens is the mind decides in that moment, that's awful. So for example, if you have a fear of speaking, and this can relate to anxiety as well, and if you have a fear of speaking, you can be in class, for example, at 10 years old, you get up and talk in front of everybody, and then everyone laughs at you. And in that moment, your mind says, that's horrible. We're never going to go through that again. We're never ever going to do that again. And so then you fast forward, you're 30 years old, you have to give a talk in front of your office, and you start to have anxiety, and you're sweating, and you're thinking, what's wrong with me? I'm totally fine here. Like I'm comfort. I mean, I know what I'm talking about. I want to give this talk. And you're having this panic attack and you're sweating. And because your mind's saying, hang on a minute, don't you remember that you made a decision that we are never, ever going to do this again? Because the mind likes to take you away from pain and towards pleasure. So if you come for the hypnotherapy session, you go back to that childhood time where you're in the classroom and you're being laughed at, and then you have understanding, right? The understanding is the power, and then you get to see, wow, when I was 10 years old, I made a decision that I'm never, ever going to do that again. So then we get to let go of that pain, upgrade that childhood memory to the adult self that you are now, and then transform those beliefs, and then give you the recording to wire. And actually, I'm totally safe. It's safe for me to talk in front of people. I'm confident, I'm brave, I'm powerful. And, you know, they're quite detailed. That goes on and on and on. But yeah, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Your every word makes sense. Don't worry about that. Is it making or not? Okay, so let's move further. Do you offer online classes, like online sessions of hypnotherapy?
Yeah, so most of my sessions are on Zoom. I see a few people that live locally to me in my office here, but most of my clients I'm in Australia. Most of my clients are in America. I've even got people in Malaysia, Iran, India, all over the world, UK. I find my biggest clientele is actually in America, more than Australia. So I do over Zoom. My first hypnotherapy session for myself was on Zoom. I've actually never had a session in person. I've only received on Zoom, and it's exactly the same as in person. It's perfect. It's even better because you get to relax in your own bed and be comfortable. I'm not teaching classes or anything. In the future, I might start doing some workshops, but I mean, I will. I've just been very busy. But yeah, it's all on Zoom. Very, very easy, accessible.
Yeah, we'll have we will happy to have a session with you, like online session for our students and for our team. This will be a grateful, I think. You just plan and just let us know, okay? Okay, my next question is, my next question is what we generally need, our specialization, what we generally what to do in to specialize in hypnotherapy.
Sorry, what was that? What do
What
you
we
need?
have to be, like, what should be our qualification to specialize in hypnotherapy?
Oh, what should be a qualification to be able to study hypnotherapy? Nothing. You don't need to have anything. You just need to have a passion for it, obviously, and a passion to want to help people, and to have gone through something in your life and then have had hypnotherapy help you, so that you can then share that experience with your clients. But you don't need to be a doctor or a psychologist. I mean, there are many doctors and psychologists that have studied RTT, but you don't need to be. I mean, I think one of Marisa Peer said one of her most successful therapists was a cleaner, and she does really well. So you don't need to have anything, which is good. Yeah, training is
Yeah,
accessible to
those who want to
everybody.
do, they can go for it.
If you want to do it,
Right?
yeah, go for it. If you've got a
Yeah,
passion for it,
those who
passion for
want, they
helping people.
can proceed further. Yes. So it's I think it's easy and a very effective one, because everyone can follow their passion or dream. Okay, so let's move further our next question, because we have limited time, so we have to go in a very short frame form. Okay, so my next
Okay.
question is, do you think is there any future in hypnotherapy? Like, what is the future of hypnotherapy?
What's the future of hypnotherapy? Well, I need a crystal ball for that one. But I think hypnotherapy is becoming more and more popular. I think it used to be a sort of, and for me as well, until like 3 years ago, it used to be, well, only people with addictions or smoking or, you know, weight loss or something that need hypnotherapy, or it's people on stage getting you to quack like a duck, or what is it? something like a chicken. But I think it's becoming more and more popular, and it's like with people like Marisa Peer and lots of very well-known hypnotherapists, and then a lot more people are training in it now and sharing the message that people are starting to look to it and go, wow, actually, yeah, I've got anxiety, I've got this, what about this? I mean, people come to me and say, could you help me with this issue? Could you help me with that issue? Like, you can actually use hypnotherapy for anything at all. So it's becoming more popular, and I think like Marisa developed this hypnotherapy technique over 30 years. And I guess other people are going to take techniques and hypnotherapy techniques and make other developments, and like things just grow. And I think in general, people are looking for natural alternatives to psychologists and doctor. I mean, not to diss psychologists. I know, you know, they're great and they do a lot of great work. Some people come to me and say that in talk therapy, I feel like I'm just kind of going there every week. I have the 1 hour, I'm just talking about the same thing, and then I'm leaving there upset because I'm still just talking about that sad thing. And then I leave there in tears because the hour's up and I have to go now. And then it gets to a point where it feels good to talk about it for a while. And then after a while, they're like, well, now what? Like, you haven't actually changed my, like, I still feel bad. Like, so people are having enough and they just want to change it and like move on and get rid of it quickly. And they don't want to spend a year in psychology. So I think hypnotherapy and some other technique, natural therapies are becoming more and more and more popular all the time, which is fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, very true, very true. I agree with you. Okay, my next and last question is there any product along with hypnotherapy you use?
Well, I like to use essential oils. So I have these beautiful oils here. They can raise energy frequencies and also calm nerves, and it's a very long conversation to have. And I also like bioresonance. I have a machine here called a Healy, and it's a bioresonance machine that can also do certain things like calm down nerves, energy, raise vibrations, do aura balancing, chakra balancing, and stuff like that. So I can do that distance with different clients as well. If anyone's interested, they can ask me more about that. I will have it all on my website soon. But yeah, I like sort of just energy frequencies, anything that's going to raise vibrations, clean auras, etc.
Yeah, okay. I think that you have summed up everything what I have asked to you. And if there will be any query, the people will ask about you in the comment box when the session will upload on the YouTube. Okay, so I think this session was very short, and I think we should learn more about hypnotherapy. And I would like to have a live class or live session with you on hypnotherapy for our team and for everyone, those who can enjoy this session and who can learn from you. Because this is a very interesting topic and very few people know about this. So, this will be a great opportunity for us to learn from you, because the way you explained everything in a very simple and very uniform way, so it will be helpful to us.
It would be my pleasure. I would love to do a little live hypnotherapy, even if I just did the end bit for your audience online. Would be my pleasure.
Same here, ma'am, and thank you for giving your time and for connecting with OYG, and thank you so much for everything what you have shared your wisdom with us. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. I look forward to being connected with you in the future.
Same here, ma'am.